Alright, so these are the answers on the board. I've made them all 7th chords. I didn't add the sharp 4th to the tritone subs. You might have, which is fine, but I didn't here. I want you to take note that a tritone sub always has a different letter, a different note name than the chord it started in. Okay, so we're going to move on to extensions. Now, a major 7th has a 1, 3, 5, and 7. If you're going to add a note, which one are you going to add? Now, if you're continuing the pattern, you would add a 9, and then an 11, and then a 13. Okay? If I say we're playing a C 13, like that, I'm saying we're playing all of these notes. However, we always assume a minor 7th. Okay, that's a pretty important one. We assume a minor 7th unless we notate a little triangle thing to show that it's a major 7th. Another exception is that the 3rd and 11th don't both get added to the chord. So you generally leave the 11th out. And you end up with this. This is different with a C minor 13, which would have a 1, a flat 3, a 5, a minor 7, minor 13, 9, 11, and 13. The 11th does not clash with the minor 3rd, so you can just have that in there. So that's what it would typically mean. Again, a major 13 would be this. And if you just want a 7th chord with the 13 added, you can do it like this. So now you got 1, 3, 5, 7, and the 13, and that's it. Okay, to be clear, the 9, 11, and 13 are the 2, 4, and 6, just an octave up. Okay? As we add more and more notes to our chord, the 5th becomes less and less useful because it just doesn't add quite the amount of color that those other notes use, but also because of a piece of physics that I'm not going to explain to you right now. It just adds a bunch of notes that end up cluttering the upper range of a chord, and having the smallest amount of notes is preferable, but sometimes you just want many colors, so you're going to have to leave something out in order to have less clutter in the upper range of a chord, and you leave the 5 out. Okay, this is how we deal with extensions. Now, it might seem somewhat simple, but we're not quite done. So first of all, we got 9, 11, and 13. However, we can alter them to make alterations, and that would be the flat 9, augmented 9, augmented 11, and the minor 13. These are all the extensions that exist for now. There's an exception, but that's not relevant now. And a dominant chord can have pretty much any of these. In a minor chord, we have no use for the augmented 9th, because the augmented 9th is enharmonically equivalent to the flat 3rd. It's the same note as the flat 3rd. So you have no use for that. A minor chord generally doesn't use the flat 9 as well, the minor 9. I'm not saying it has never been done. I'm just saying commonly, usually people don't do that because it creates a tension that's just unwanted. That's not very easy to apply in a musical manner. The flat 13 also is not quite useful in a minor chord. Why? Well, let's take A minor, and let's add that flat 13th, the minor 13th, or in other words, the minor 6th. That's just a half semitone up from E to F. Okay. What do we have now? Well, we were calling it A minor, but, well, saying A minor with a flat 6 added to it, or a minor 6th, or a minor 13th, is more of a stretch than saying it's F major 7, because it's F major 7. Maybe F major 7 with an A in bass, F major 7 over A, but still that's less of a stretch than calling one of these notes an extension. Now every note is a chord tone, a tone that naturally belongs in the chord. Okay, so that's what you end up with when you add a minor 13th to a minor chord. Then, major chords with major thirds don't add the 11th ever, just never ever, and the minor ninth and augmented ninth usually don't end up in major 7th chords either. A flat 13 would be rare. It would rare, very rare. But it's possible, you could, but it's really rare. So for major, you got major 7, you got 9, augmented 11, and 13. Those are common extensions for a major chord. Now, for a dominant, we can have all sorts of combinations. And this is what your assignment is going to be. I'm going to notate some chords, and you need to calculate which notes are in there. Okay, this is going to be your homework. In case you're going to ask anyone about it, there are some differences between, well, European and American traditions and between different music conservatories or universities of the arts about whether you call it a flat 13 and an augmented 11 or a flat 5th and a augmented 5th, a diminished 5th and augmented 5th. Really, we're talking about the same thing. There's no substantial difference between the two. In very edge cases only, it would matter, but for now, we're just going to stick to the system that I'm teaching.